51 minutes past the hour, and we have some brand new reporting from TMZ as law enforcement zeroes in on the person spotted on Nancy Guthrie's porch camera. They report the FBI and the Sheriff's Department are now focusing on the specific items he was carrying in those photos: the gloves, the backpack, the gun. TMZ says investigators are contacting manufacturers trying to track down who bought that exact combination of gear. Fox News at Night anchor Trace Gallagher is live outside of Nancy Guthrie's home, where he'll be hosting his show tonight, live at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So, Trace, tell us what is happening right now.
Well, right now, we just learned a couple of seconds ago, Sandra, that two men, we do not know if they are law enforcement. We don't know who they are, but two men have now walked back into Annie Guthrie's house, which is about 4.5 miles from here. So if we find out more about that, we'll let you know what's happening. But a little activity down in Annie Guthrie's neighborhood all day long. Yesterday, you had FBI agents talking to neighbors and kind of going through that area. We are at Nancy Guthrie's house, and this is at the base of the Catalina foothills. And the Catalina foothills is kind of the basis for the search today. From here on up north toward the actual Catalina foothill mountains, you have FBI agents kind of going and checking all the roads and seeing, what they find. Nobody has told us specifically what they're looking for, but you can hear the news helicopters are up kind of tracking their progress. It is interesting because you mentioned the video, Sandra, and that is they're looking at the items, the gloves, the backpack. Where would you buy these things? That's a big part of it. Another big part of this thing is that if you look very closely at the video, there does not appear to be any blood at the very time that this video was taken, any blood on the front stoop of Nancy Guthrie's home. That's key because remember, there was that timeline from 1:47 until 2:21. Well, now, if Kash Patel, what they're telling us is correct, now it appears that if that is the 2:12 video that captured somebody and the pacemaker went off at 2:28, now all of a sudden that 41-minute window, it kind of contracts to 16 minutes, and that could be a big deal in the overall investigation here. Also very curious in last night's arrest, very curious, we shouldn't say arrest, detention, they were very careful about that, detention of that person. Kash Patel told us there were, quoting, persons of interest, plural. We have not heard any more about who else might be part of that. And very quickly, Sandra, I want to say that since February 1st, the FBI has gotten 18,000 tip line calls, and in the past 24 hours, 4,000 of those calls came in. So you can tell.
And that is so challenging to dig through those and know what is a real tip that comes in. And obviously, there's a lot of speculation is happening. Paraphrasing Paul Murrow earlier, basically saying that tracing the clothing is going to be so key. He was suggesting that that particular, top that the person was wearing on the porch, seen in the camera, was something more specific than a generic purchase, I should say. So hopefully, Trace, this is something that could lead them to the suspect.
Well, I mean, there's so much information in that video. That's the whole thing. Not just the person's walk, not just the eyebrows like we were talking about and things that they did, but actually the clothing. I mean, they were already, last night we were on the show and we had Kurt Knudsen on, the cyber guy. He was talking about how it's so quick you can go in and find out where those gloves were sold. And the combination of the backpack and the gloves, where were these all sold and what time, what place, that is all going to be hugely important to the investigation.
Yeah, Trace, we will be watching you tonight live, 11 o'clock tonight, your show, Fox News at Night. We'll be watching. Trace, thank you very much. John, we hope we're in a different place with this investigation by then.
Yeah, I mean, we had so much momentum yesterday, and it seems to have stalled out, but you never know. Things could pop any second. Great to have the Treasury Secretary on for the first time today, too.
Yeah, really loved having him. Hope he comes back soon. Everything that is about to happen with the housing market, the interest rates, it is all going to be...
New Fed chairman, yeah.
Yeah. All right, thanks for joining us. I'm Sandra Smith.
And I'm John Roberts. The story with Martha starts right after this break.